So if you guys pay any attention to the fishing industry, you know that right now it is a complete dumpster fire. We have a mass exodus of anglers leaving Major League Fishing. We have people retiring early, probably due to all the stuff going on in the industry. And then we have a bunch of people that are just up and leaving the industry altogether. But then you've got guys like Jacob Foutz that are blowing the doors off the situation and telling us, the viewer, and other people in the space exactly what his first 2 years on the Elite Series has been like, and how it's not all sunshine and rainbows like, it's played out to be. We're going to talk about that in this video and what exactly it's going to do for him. Is it going to help him? Is it going to hurt him? Is it going to open the eyes of people in the industry? Is it going to help with that in some way, shape, or form? This is all my opinion, and I think it's going to be a good one. Hopefully y'all might learn something if you don't know a lot about the fishing industry. Myself personally, I've been in and out of it for 8 years, not on the professional fishing side, but as a content marketer, freelance videographer, done shows, all kinds of different stuff. So I've had my foot in the door just a little bit, and a lot of the stuff that Jacob talked about in the first video he uploaded exposing everything, I kind of already knew. Is it as bad as he says it is? We'll get into that. Real quick, we'll do a little backstory on Jacob Foutz. He was a college Bassmaster angler at Bryan College over in East Tennessee. He was getting a degree in marketing, which is something that you very much need if you're in the fishing industry. It can help you tremendously in the fishing industry. He won the College Classic Bracket Championship in 2018, went on to fish the Bassmaster Classic that year, and they gave him a new truck, a new boat to run around with for a year, and later on he fished the Opens, qualified in 2021 to be on the Bassmaster Elite Series, and he's been fishing the Elites for 2 seasons now. He just got done with his sophomore year, and I believe he'll be going into his 3rd year if he chooses to do so. So this whole situation very much, I believe, is based around marketing. That's what the fishing industry is. You're working for companies and you're selling product. That's probably the reason I would say that he went into marketing in college. That's why I did it. That's why a lot of people do it, to be in the industry and turn product. That's the name of the game. The bad part is, in the fishing industry, when you see it on TV, you see it on social media, you see it all over, it's kind of painted as a pretty picture, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, and not everything can be handed to you. Jacob very much saw that with the whole truck and boat thing that he got for winning the Classic Bracket. He got that for 1 year, and that's it. In this first video that he uploaded that caused a ton of uproar, right now it has a little bit less than 50,000 on YouTube, 50,000 views. He states that he only made $7,000 on his first 2 years as a Bassmaster Elite Series angler. $7,000 is nothing to laugh at. That actually, in today's economy, that is a chunk of change. But whenever you're looking at the fishing industry, specifically your entry fees, travel, that kind of thing, you're in a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Just to enter the Elite Series, to pay your entry fees, is $50,000 a year. Now, if he made $7,000 over the course of 2 years, that means he had $100,000 worth of entry fees he had to pay, plus or minus. I think it's like $4,700 a tournament. Either way, we'll call it $50,000 a year. So that's $100,000 for 2 years, and he got paid $7,000 to go out there and promote companies, sell product, work shows, etc. That means that he still needed $93,000 just to break even on the year. That doesn't include, tackle that he might have bought himself. That doesn't include gas, truck, whatever his boat deal is. I'm not quite sure how that worked out. He actually lost a boat sponsor, or a dealer sponsor, over this video where he laid it all out on the table. The interesting thing is he actually lost 2 companies whenever he came out and exposed everything. The rest of the companies he worked for pretty much gave him free product. He only had a couple, I believe he said, that were paying him that $7,000 over the course of 2 years. Now, the the interesting thing is the people that dropped him for the, upcoming season weren't even paying sponsors. They were just giving him product. I assume one of them was his boat dealer, so I'm assuming he probably lost a boat deal for the year. I don't really know, and we'll get back into that later as well, the whole boat deal thing. That could be a key point in this whenever you really break it down and look at the situation, especially knowing that he has a background in marketing. We'll talk about the whole money section here really quick. Now, the thing is, in the fishing industry, it's all about marketing. Companies want you to turn product and make profit for them. And in turn, depending on your deal, you might get money. You might get free stuff, whatever it is. But as a business, they want you to sell product. There's a lot of different ways to do this. You can go to shows like the Bassmaster Classic Expo. In our case, we got the East Tennessee Fishing Expo, things like that. Whenever places where you can get the product out there. Back in the day, the 2000s, especially in the 2000s, in the early 2010s, the best way to do it was with TV coverage. Even going back into the 90s and the 80s, or specifically the 90s, I guess, it was all TV stuff. You wanted to get out there in some sort of publication. You got magazines, you got this and that, right? But we're in the digital age now, and it's not just marketing in general that you're focused on. That is good to have for all aspects, right? But social media marketing is the number one way that companies are making a dime right now. It has been proven that boat wraps, truck wraps, even jerseys to a point, they're not really turning a lot of profit out of these things, right? It's word of mouth. It's being there, being able to see the product, having the product in front of you, and maybe if you win a couple of tournaments on it or whatever, maybe a big tournament, you might sell some product whenever it comes to baits, rods, that sort of deal. But the main thing nowadays is just turning product, right? That's what it's always been, but you want to do it socially. It's all social, right? It's not just looking at a TV screen or looking at a magazine anymore. It's about being there. That's what it is. Social media is king right now for these companies that want to turn product. And knowing that Jacob has a background in marketing, I find that very, very interesting, because over my 8 or so years of kind of doing the same thing on a smaller scale, I made a decent living for myself in 3 years. And it's really a shame that he wasn't making more. And I know that there's a lot of guys that aren't making more on the Elite Series due to whatever reason. The way that I did it was by being out there, by going to these shows, selling product. You got to be able to sell ice to a penguin nowadays to make money as a promotional staff, marketer, person, whatever you want to call it, pro staff, whatever it is. You have to be able to turn product. And with him having a background in marketing, you would think he would be really good at that, especially being on the Elite Series. But it doesn't seem like it's worked out that way for him. If you really look at Jacob over the past couple of years, I can only think of one time I really saw him stand out, and that was whenever those really big graphs from MBT Marine came out, and there was photos of him with like a 20-something inch screen or whatever it was on the front of his boat. And that is great for marketing, because that very much made its rounds on the internet. I saw that for so long, and I still see it every now and then. Whenever he was on Dave Mercer's podcast a couple of days ago, he mentioned how he was kind of a quiet person, didn't stand out much. At the time, he had less than 1,000 subs on Facebook or on YouTube, and he had one video that might have been eclipsing like 1,000 views, right? And then after he posted this video exposing the industry and talking in a second video about how he lost 2 sponsors from it, his channel blew up. He got over 100,000 subscribers, or 100,000 views. He's up to like 5,000 subscribers. And the cool thing is, you still see the sponsors that he has in the video, and that's great. Those impressions that he's getting right now, those are great for his sponsors. That alone should be able to, in some way, shape, or form, help him sell, especially whenever it's somebody supporting him in a time like this, whenever we have other companies that dropped him. And I guess what this whole thing is about is, did it hurt the industry? Did it help the industry? Did it open somebody's eyes? What happened with it? What is the end result in all this? Did it hurt his career? I don't think so. He talked a lot about having support from other companies during this. I don't know if anything's going to come from that and whatnot, or exactly what is going to happen with that. It's been good for him. It's helped him more than it's hurt him. It's got him quite a bit of exposure, especially being on podcasts like Mercer and whatnot, the views on YouTube. I think that it's a good thing. And I think that maybe, just maybe, if you look at all these other guys that do grind a lot, Jacob talked about being a quieter guy. He doesn't get out there as much. These people that do grind, hopefully, companies in the industry will take note of that and help these guys. They've all got marketing budgets, right? Everybody does. And a lot of companies are straight up stingy about it. That's a simple fact. I've been around the block a time or two, and that's fine. That's their right as a company, right? But for the people that really put themselves out there, I hope it makes them appreciate those people that, do help turn product more. Not saying that Jacob doesn't turn product, especially now. He has a background in marketing, and there may be other things that he does. Personally, myself, I didn't know about his boat deal or whatever. I think I said that a few minutes ago. I didn't know a lot of his sponsors until he came forward and said something. And I fully support the ones that kept his back or stayed behind his back for what he said and what he had to say. And I'm glad to know that the ones that were paying him, as of now, supported what he had to say. That is a great thing for the industry, and I hope the dude gets a raise. Honestly, do. He did what a lot of people are afraid to do right now. He had almost nothing to lose in this situation, and he just blew the doors off. He came out and said exactly what was needed to be said. I'm not a professional in the fishing industry. I don't fish professionally, but I do have a very, very good grasp on how the industry works as far as money goes. I've got a bunch of friends in it. Some of my neighbors are actually huge in the fishing industry, which is mind-boggling to me that I happen to move in here. But for any of you that are wanting to get into this and get in the fishing industry, this is a really good point to make. You need to be good at doing the marketing. You need to work these shows. You need to be able to get out there and have a voice in any way that you possibly can, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is. The whole goal of the fishing industry is to drive sales. Fishing is second. I don't care what anybody says. I know people that have amazing deals in the industry that nobody knows because they sell product. They're good at selling product. They go to all the shows. They go work at ICAST for these companies. They go to the Classic and work from start to finish on building up, tearing down the booth, everything. And they still continue to sell product even when they're not at these events, whether it be on a website, through Amazon, through this, through that. There's a million ways that you can do it nowadays. And that's why the social media marketing thing is such a big deal. As much as I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, it's not about the fish anymore. It's about the money. Everything is about the money in this day and age. And fishing is no different. Hunting is no different. Vehicles, all that. It's all the same. It's all about sales. We enjoy the entertainment. I love watching a good tournament. Everybody does that's into fishing, right? We all do. But at the end of the day, that's the reason we have these expos. That's the reason we have ICAST. That's the reason we have the East Tennessee Fishing Show or whatever your local fishing show is during the wintertime. These boat shows. All of that is for sales. That is 1,000% what it's about. So for anybody watching this that wants to get in the industry, I highly suggest trying to learn about marketing. If you can't go to college, if you don't want to go to college, reach out to somebody. Try to learn what you can. Get your toes in the water a little bit and learn how it works. It's not that bad. Being a salesman ain't the worst thing in the world. That's what all these guys essentially are doing. That's how they're making their living. They ain't doing it from fishing. Just fishing alone. I can promise you that. They're other than your Jacob Wheelers and stuff of the world, you're not making a living just by fishing itself. If anything, you're breaking even. Money comes from sales. Your sales company, your sponsor, it's a job. I hate the word sponsor because it's just another job, as it should be. You need to work for whatever you're getting. For them to just give you something, and there's no honor in that, right? Earn every single thing that you can. That's the way that I look at it. This has been my TED Talk on this whole Jacob Fout situation. I think that maybe he might possibly a marketing genius, and this is really going to work out for him in the end. He seems to be a very smart man. It's always those quiet people that you need to worry about. The quieter people are always thinking, right? They know what's going on. It's just one of those things. I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember, marketing's important. If you want to get into this industry, learn about some marketing. I'm not an educational channel in that aspect. I'm just saying that's what it takes to be a professional angler. If you can't market yourself, you can't market product, you're not going to make it to the elites. And if you do, you're not going to last very long without the financial backing.